us today? Alright, I'm assuming you're here for the Yuri Lowenthal and Alex Lee panel. So, bad news, Yuri had a grand piano fall on him. No, I'm kidding. Here he is. Come on up. Yuri Lowenthal, everybody. I'm so glad to survive the grand piano.
You know what? The grand piano did fall on me, and I just caught it.
Yeah, he just caught it and threw it. I saw him. He did it right there. It's awesome.
And then I played it.
Oh, you did it? That's all right.
I don't know how to play it.
Okay, that's you know, I believe you. I believe you did a good job. All right, guys. Thank you for coming to the panel. We're just going to stand or sit down.
I mean, it feels weird to sit behind a... You want to sit in front of the table?
Yeah, we can sit in front of the table.
Is that weird?
No, it's all good.
It's more like a talk show this way.
What a great introduction.
Right, thank you for that.
Of course, people may know you for.
I will do that. My name is Yuri Lowenthal. I'm that voice acting guy.
It's okay. We can sit in this placement. It's fine, right?
And you might know me, for example, as Sullen Ninja Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto, or one of many protagonists from P3, or at least two, or Yosuke from Persona 4. Yosuke is my brosuke. I love you guys. Oh my god. And some other things, like Spider-Man and Ben 10. So thank y'all for coming out. This is super fun.
Yeah.
And this is Alex Lee.
Hi. My name is Alex Lee. You may know me as Zenitsu in Demon Slayer. Sung Jinu in Solo Leveling, if you've been watching the videos. Yeah. And also Luke from Street Fighter. You guys like that? And of course, another Persona protagonist from Persona 3 Reload.
This is the first time we're like hanging out together doing this.
Yeah.
You guys are seeing something really that nobody's ever seen before.
We have never been on a panel with each other before.
That's right.
Not before this, but we have met each other before, many times.
Yes.
Now, I know our history is a little bit storied.
Yes. I want to try to identify the first time that we worked together.
I was just going to say, can you recall the very first time we met each other? Because there are multiple instances that could technically count as the first
as the
time.
meeting.
Yeah.
Was it Laws of the Universe?
Yeah.
Should I even bring that one up?
So, for those who don't know, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was around like 19 years old or something like that. And I came out here with 2,000...
That was 300 years ago, Alex.
300 years ago. I came out here with like $2,000 in my pocket and nothing else. And I was just like, I'm gonna make it as a voice actor. And then so I had this agency and they were like, we don't know about you, kid, but we'll send you this audition for you to try out on. I'm like, all right. And so they sent me this audition for a villain role. And I was like, all right, I'll do this and we'll see where it goes. And then, surprise, surprise, I booked the role. And then they told me that Yuri was gonna be on the cast, like Josh Keaton was gonna be on the cast, Tom Kenny, and all these other people. And I was like, no way. Kerry Waldman, Roger Craig Smith. And I was like, this is awesome. So what is this project? And they're like, oh, it's this epic anime movie. And then like later I found out people were like, hey, it's like a movie for a cult in Japan.
I know. I didn't find that out until later either. And then I did a little research and I'm like, oh no.
I was like,
oh no.
But so
it's super weird if you ever want to watch it.
But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So that was the first time we had worked with each other, and we hadn't even met yet.
That's right.
So the funniest thing was that I think this was around the time that Spider-Man was coming out too. And so, yeah, Spider-Man, the first one, released for the first time on the PlayStation, and you had done a signing at a GameStop at, I forgot where it was, but somewhere in Hollywood.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and so he was there, and he was doing that signing, and I was at my very first session recording for a villain in that cult movie.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I sent a friend of mine to come and be like, Yuri, my friend Alex Lee, he's in a movie with you, he's getting choked out by you right now in the scene.
We have such a weird job, you guys.
Yeah, and so that was the first time that we were kind of connected in a way, but do you remember like when we actually met, either online or face to face? Because I kind of don't.
Because I can think of two. I mean, we both were we both on Zoom for the Star Wars thing?
We might have. I think that's a little bit later on. So Yuri and I
Okay.
also were in a Star Wars show together called The Bad Batch. And we were playing buddies in one episode. We were both guest characters. And I think, yeah, that's right. I think we were on Zoom for that one. So I think you knew of me then. But I think the first time that I interacted with Yuri online was it's completely random. For some reason, that day I felt like drawing Sasuke choking on a bunch of hot dogs.
Right.
Yeah, so there's
That's
this drawing,
right.
this drawing out there of Sasuke choking on a bunch of hot dogs. And like, I didn't even tag Yuri or anything. I just drew Sasuke choking on a bunch of hot dogs. And for some reason, you liked the picture. You liked the picture, and you commented something on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. You weren't meant to see that.
I think I'm just jealous that you can draw and I can't.
Yeah. And I think that was like our first interaction together online.
Online.
Was that hot dog.
But then was the first time we met was at a convention?
First time we met was, I think,
Like the first time we hugged each other was at a convention?
no. So, Yuri's a very popular guy. Obviously, every convention he goes to, the lines are out the door. He's super mega star. And so it was one of my first few conventions as well. And I was doing a signing in the same convention as you. And I was like, dude, I can't wait to meet Yuri Lowenthal in the flesh. What am I gonna get him to sign? And so I was like, you know what? I'll print out that Sasuke choking on a bunch of hot dogs, and I'll get him to sign that. And like, I printed 2 copies just in case, and I put it in my suitcase. And the next day, when I was about to get you to sign it, I opened it up, and I was like, who stole my hot dog picture? It wasn't there anymore. I was like, what happened? So I had to rush and go find the other hot dog picture. The same one.
I didn't realize the story had such an epic backstory.
No, I was like scrambling, man. I was scrambling. So I walk up to his line, and you know, you have a bunch of people on your line. You're about to finish up. You look really tired. You had your signature Sasuke drip with the camo pants on.
Oh yeah.
And so I was walking up, and I was like, man, we've worked together a couple of times. But like, there's no way you know what I look like. There's no way you know anything about that. How am I gonna approach him and his convention agent and not make this look weird? Like, just come up and they're like, sorry, we're done signing for the day. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I got a picture of Sasuke with a bunch of hot dogs in his mouth, and I need Yuri to sign it now.
You would be surprised at how many times that happens every day.
And so I walked up, and I was like, fuck, this is gonna be bad. But then, out of nowhere, you catch me with your eyes, and you just like, you go, Alex! And you run towards me, and you hug me, and I'm so confused, because I'm like, how do you know what I look like?
Because I had been stalking you. I was waiting for this moment to confess that I had been stalking you for a long time.
It's just like, I swear, the only thing you knew, like the only time you saw anything about me was the Sasuke hot dog picture. But no, you gave me a hug. I was like, yo, this is awesome. Because you were like, yeah, it's so nice to meet you in person, man. I'm like, there's no way. Anyways, can you sign this for me?
Here we are on a panel together.
Exactly. Man, I wish we could pull that picture up. Hey, yo, who has control of this screen?
Right?
Right? If you have control of this screen, somebody back there, please pull up the amazing hot dog picture. We'll continue with our story, but if you see a hot dog guy pop up there, just know that's what's happening.
Just search Sasuke with hot dogs in mouth.
Yeah, right?
There can't be that many pictures,
Like,
right?
type in at Alex Livio, Sasuke hot dog. You will find the picture. So that was the first time that we had ever met each other in person. Now, we've met each other many times since then, but Persona 3 Reload. Before we talk about that, we should talk about, there's a video game strike going on right now. So
Yes.
you want to talk about that?
Let's briefly talk about it because we are talking about video games. There's currently a video game strike going on right now where we are trying to get better guidelines for AI protections in our contracts. Thank you. Because, I'll be honest with you, most of the developers that I work with on video games, they're on the same page. They want to take care of us, we want to take care of them. It's a very collaborative process, but we never know, what's going to happen with, the bigger sort of the corporations that own those developers. So right now we're just trying to get into our contracts some guidelines because we're not trying to fight AI and we're not trying to fight technology. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of voice actors have been using AI to their benefit in technology. But we also know that with technology like that and with creative people like us, we can easily be exploited like we always get.
Regulations are very much required. With that said, we have been given the good to go to talk about some of the game projects we've been involved. So thank you to SAG, and let's give them a big cheer to support their mission.
That is the one.
That is a picture.
You guys are about to get a treat in this picture. In this
My dream come true would be to see an awesome hot dog picture projected on this screen.
I mean,
We'll see it soon.
Did you ever think when you drew that one day we would be on a panel together and that picture would be displayed behind us?
No, never,
Okay, yeah.
never. We'll know when it comes. We'll know when it comes.
Right.
Anyways, let's talk about the game that we are now sharing. Basically, the legacy of Persona. You've been a part of this series for way longer than I have. Now, in fact, when I moved to America at a very young age, I was like 11 or 10, and back then, YouTube wasn't as big of a thing as it is now.
Yeah.
So when I came to America and I was exposed to YouTube, now before even that, like when I lived in Asia, I saw runnings of airings of Ben 10 all the time, and I was like, I love Ben 10.
That's so awesome. Oh my God.
It's so much more graphic than I remember.
You're such a good artist, dude.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, he's getting so big.
You really capture the angst.
Why don't you come over here and touch a hot dog with me? Right here. How's that?
Is that your favorite hot dog?
That's my favorite hot dog. That's this one right here with like a bun in it. Oh shit! That's amazing. Thank you guys.
You guys want to know why Sasuke is as emo as he is? It's because hot dogs.
It's because hot dogs.
It's because he's been choking on hot dogs.
He's so sad. That's why he's crying all the time. That's why he's sad.
That's right. Sasuke is sad because he's choking on hot dogs.
Okay. Back.
Oh, that's so good.
That's amazing.
So good.
Back to the story, I guess.
I guess.
So when I first came to America and I found out what YouTube was, you know what the first thing I did on it was? I used it to search up Ben 10 clips.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious. I used it to search Ben 10 clips because like Ben 10, we didn't have like cable on demand or anything like that, so I couldn't see it whenever I wanted it. And I'm like, I need my Ben 10 fix now. So I went on YouTube. Look, I used to run around with like a thick Asian accent, and I tell all the kids I knew, I'm like, do you have this site called YouTube A? YouTube A. YouTube A got Ben 10 on it. Go check it out.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a lot of countries in Asia. So I grew up in like Vietnam, Singapore, a bunch of different Asian countries. So I moved around a lot. So when I first moved to America, I was like, the whole concept of the internet was such a new thing to me. And obviously the first thing I'm gonna do is look up clips on YouTube, right? Now when around the time that I was looking up these Ben 10 clips, I started seeing some, I think at the time they weren't called memes yet, but they were just funny videos of these quirky little characters from a JRPG series called Persona. And so I was watching these like comic dubs and these like videos where like, you remember like the caramel dancing thing and people would animate like Makoto Yuki doing that stuff? And so I was like, what is this Persona thing? And so that was my first exposure to Persona, and basically you as well, because you had done a behind-the-scenes video where you were voicing like Yosuke for Persona 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a long time ago. And so I was like, Yuri Lowenthal, who is this guy? And I was like, whoa, he does Persona and Ben 10? This guy's my hero. And Sasuke? Yeah, so that was my first experience to the series. How was it for you to get into this role in this world of Persona? What was it like?
It was really fascinating because I remember I had worked with the studio before over at PCB, and I knew these guys. And they're like, "There's a new series, this game we want you to work on. It's here, we're gonna show you. Here's a little bit of sort of like an opening trailer, and they showed it, and it ends with, you know, from my eyes, you know, this teenager putting a gun to his head, blowing his brains out, and I'm like, this game will never be released in the United States. Are you kidding me? This will never go. And they're like, trust me, it's an evoker. It's not a gun.
They're like, do you know teenagers there?
Right.
This is the craziest shit ever.
That's what they want. But that was like my first view of it. I'm like, what is this? And the world is so, on one hand, you know, dark and amazing and deep, and on the other hand, is all about, like, you know, friendship and, you know, building a team and helping each other out, and like it's so great.
I've got a lot of people who come up to me and say that they feel that Persona 3 is about death, and while that is true, I like to think of it more as like a game that celebrates life, because it's not more so about how, you know, the depressing aspects of mortality, but I feel like it's more about the limited time we have on this planet and all the people around us, and how we should cherish that time and make the best of that time. And that's the message that I took away from
Memento Mori.
Exactly.
Memento Mori, Memento Veri's. Remember death so that you remember to live. I mean, that is, so it's
a beautiful
at its core,
message.
that.
Yeah. And then there's also a dog that does a funny little dance. His name is Koromar.
It's not all serious.
Yeah, it's not all serious. So you worked on Persona 3, and then you did Persona 4. And then about 2-ish years, something like that, maybe more ago, I had gotten an email from the same company, the lovely folks at PCB Entertainment, Val and Keith. They're amazing. They've done the Persona series basically since the beginning.
Since the beginning, I mean, I was working on Shin Megami Tensei with them in, the Digital Devil Saga days, like early on. I've been sort of a part of that.
They're the ones who like brought this series and like localized it and did such an amazing job, and also the Sega Atlas in-house localizing team. So I had done a few projects with them throughout the years. I did Nier Reincarnation with them, which was
that's right.
Yeah, and then PCB had reached out and they were sending out auditions for this new game, and new game. And so I got these auditions and I'm like, this sounds like a Persona game, but it sounds so familiar for some reason. Because like the archetypes are there, and they obviously have like code names for each character, and except the protagonist. The protagonist is just like the protagonist. And so I was like, what game is this? And Zeno Robinson, who was this Junpei in Persona 3.
Yeah, give it up for Zeno.
Give it up for Zeno. Love that guy. Yeah. And so he just like, he emailed, or he messaged me, and he was like, dude, did you get the auditions for Persona 3? I'm like, what? This is Persona 3? And he's like, yeah, man. Did you get them? Are you gonna do them? And I'm like, I mean, I guess so. I should, right? And I was a little bit confused at first, because I'm like, wait, aren't you already in Persona 3? But then I had heard from them that they were basically like rebuilding the game from scratch, and I was like, oh, awesome, and there was going to be new elements and everything like that. And so I was like, I should audition for this game. But then when I looked at the auditions, I was very tired that week, by the way. I was like, man, that's a lot of lines to read.
That's a lot of lines to have to yell.
That's a lot of lines to have to yell for this audition. And so I was like very, very exhausted. And I'm like, I really want to read for this, but I'm just so tired, and I don't think I have the energy to do it. So I was gonna pass on the auditions and be like, you know what? Maybe I'll just try for the next Persona, whenever that's gonna be, maybe in 10 years or something like that. But then Zeno was like, no man, you gotta read for it, you gotta do it. And so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Can we pause for a Zeno sidebar right now?
Yeah.
The Zeno backstory? You know, the first time that I met Zeno was on Ben 10.
What?
Zeno's very first job was on an episode of Ben 10. And that was where I met Zeno for the first time. And even then, like when we met and he was super young, I could tell, I was like, that kid's gotta keep going. because he's got something.
We are all connected by Ben 10.
That is the linchpin.
Yeah, so Zeno was like, you gotta do this. And I was like, all right. And then I looked at the auditions again and I was like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I should just read for the main character. If I don't have the energy to read for anybody else, I should just read for the main character. Because he had the most, surprisingly, he had the most lines because there were actually 4 sections that required 4 different voices for the main character. So I was like, you know what? Go big or go home. I'm just gonna read for the main character. I'll send it in, and that's the only audition I'm gonna do. And if I get it, great. If I don't, oh well. And I sent it in, and like 3 months go by, and I'm like, well, I didn't get it.
I clearly didn't get it.
I'll
Auditions
probably
are weird, guys. Auditions are weird.
Yeah. And so one day I was just like, you know, taking a 3 p.m. afternoon nap, and Val from PCB had called me, and she's like, Alex? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, you're gonna want to sit down for this. And I'm like, good news, I'm laying down for this. And she was like, you got it. You got the guy. And I'm like, what guy? What are we talking about? She's like, your persona, baby. And I'm like, I'm persona, baby. And so that's how I found out that I got the role of the protagonist in Persona 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
And so when we had met each other, we met each other again at Anime Pasadena. And I was like, okay, Yuri's signing again. I should probably go tell the news. Because you already knew about it.
Because I knew, at that point, I definitely knew that I wasn't going to be coming back and they were recasting. And I'm pretty sure I knew.
You didn't know about me yet, no.
No, I didn't know about you yet.
You
okay.
knew about Zeno. That's who you knew about.
That's right.
Zeno, I found out to you. I told you first.
Right.
But then, basically, I came up and I was like, I know you have a line, but can I talk to you real quick? And he was like, yeah, of course, what's going on? And so we like scoot off to the side a little bit, and I'm just like, do you know that they're doing like a Persona 3, you know, like a remake kind of thing? You're like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, I'm the guy. And you're like, you're the guy? I'm the guy. Oh my God, you're the guy. You gave me a very big hug. It was a super tight hug, and I was so caught off guard. I was like, "Oh, you're cool with that?"
Wait, were you worried that I was gonna like lay you out?
I thought he was gonna summon Orpheus right there and fill my ass, dude. I'm kidding. No, I was just nervous to tell you because like I didn't know how to break the news to you or like even because it's such like a weird territory thing.
Sure.
Like. We are all bound by NDAs and stuff, so technically I wasn't even supposed to tell you.
Right.
But I wanted to let you know, and I just wanted to let you know that, you know, I was gonna do my best to honor what you had laid before me, and and so that's why I came up to you, and I told you.
And I had to hug you because I knew, because even before you said you wanted to honor what had come before, I knew you were gonna.
Oh, thank you. But it was an amazing day. I remember like we embraced about it. And like congratulations, you're the best person for the job, and you're the only guy I would have thought to take it on. I'm like that's fighting words with me. That's like I really appreciate that.
Of course.
That's our last big crazy interaction that we had. I mean,
right. And now we see each other all the time at conventions.
Yeah, now we see each other and it's like, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
But yeah, it was definitely interesting to work on this game because I definitely wanted to, you know, take parts of what you did and not only honor it, but also kind of add some of my own flavors to it as well.
You have to.
And I think the funny thing is that when the game was announced and there were some trailers floating around, people straight up thought that you were coming back to do Pharaohs.
Really?
Yeah, because I did.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, I wasn't even trying to sound like him for Pharaohs. I just did my little baby man voice.
Right, that's exactly. All our baby man voices sound
All
the
of
same.
our baby man voices sound the same, so it just happened to sound like your baby man voice. And so people thought that you came back to do it.
That's crazy, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I was like, I can't say anything, but that's not Yuri, guys.
It's totally not Yuri,
But yeah, it's crazy to be here.
Was there, when you started the process of doing the reload, was there any kind of edict from the company as to we want to do anything differently. They just trusted that you guys, because you're different people, would bring something different to the to the character.
Honestly, Sega Atlas gave us a lot of freedom. I don't think they ever told anybody that like, hey, you should sound like your legacy voice actor.
Or we want you to sound completely different, right?
Yeah, they never gave us any sort of direction. I think they just trusted every one of us, and they were like, hey, go in there and do what you do. And it just so happens that some of us sound like you guys now, And it was completely unintentional, but the resemblance is sometimes a little bit uncanny. But I think everybody did a great job of kind of bringing their own spin to it as well. We've definitely had a lot of very memorable moments working on this game, and to be here now and to see you guys in Persona cosplays and all of that. It's
There they are.
amazing, right?
Yep.
We see you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So
good.
thank you guys for your support of this franchise. It's absolutely been an honor to be here, to be on stage. This is a very cool moment.
Same. And we're gonna. I mean, the plan is to keep working together, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna keep doing our best, right?
Right. Exactly.
So
we
we'll
can't.
see.
We don't always get to choose. A lot of people are like, you should work with this person, you should work with that person, or you should work with your wife more. And I'm like, we try, but like we're not in charge of that.
We'll try to get into more games together.
Right.
See how that goes.
That is our goal. That's our
goal
That is
right
the
there.
solid goal, is to try to get into more games together.
Before we wrap out this section here, because I think where are we at here?
How are we doing?
We're doing good. We're doing. So guys, we're completely just riffing here. We had no plan for this
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Two Voice Acting Guys panel. This is Two Voice Acting Guys. So we're about at the halfway mark, and before we wrap out the persona section, you want to just give them a little persona together?
Put the call out version.
I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then persona.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Persona.
We've never done that before. That would give me chills.
Can you say Makoto Mayuki?
Makoto Mayuki.
That's it. That's all I wanted to hear.
That was it.
That's it.
It was
Should we? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we move on?
I mean, no, that's the Persona story, I guess.
That's the Persona story.
Right? We
Do you want to talk about the grand piano story?
You already did.
We already did. We already talked about that one.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about Bad Batch, which was super fun.
Yeah.
In the Lost Universe, which we don't need to talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about Lost
We don't talk about Lost Universe. The only law of the universe is we don't talk about Lost Universe.
Why don't we open up the floor then? Are you cool
I
with that?
think that'd be great. Yeah, if there are, I mean,
We do have telling us that we did a great job and we are now leaving.
apparently we're being axed. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for coming out, guys.